Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Bionicle Boy, and I would like to inform you that I am back to create some new video reactions on Deathbattle because I decided to take a break after all of this. But the reason why I want to watch this Deathbattle is the one with Sauron versus the Lich King, and from all these two characters, the Lich King from World of Warcraft was one of my childhood games that I played. I think I was 12, 13. I remember when I was living at my grandparents' house before moving to another city. And I want to talk about the Lich King more. The only two games of World of Warcraft I played was the one with Reign of Chaos and the Frozen Throne. And the Lich King was also in both of these games. And I want to talk about the story about the Lich King. Is that he wasn't always part of the undead. He was once a prince, the son of King Tyrannus, a paladin known as Arthas. He used to fight at his homeland Lordaeron, where he protected from evil such as the orcs, alongside with his mentor Uther the Lightbringer. But ever since Lordaeron was attacked by the undead, Arthas sought to destroy them. He even fought alongside with the sorceress known as Jaina Proudmoore. And I remember when Arthas and Jaina met the necromancer known as Kel'Thuzad, he told them to both of them about the evil dreadlord known as Mal'Ganis, who was part of these attacks. And Kel'Thuzad told them that Mal'Ganis wants to establish a paradise of eternal darkness. And Arthas, he was very consumed with revenge and sought to destroy Mal'Ganis no matter what it takes. And in the game, when he had no choice but to kill hundreds of people that had to turn into the undead. And Uther, I remember he didn't agree with this, but Arthas sought to kill them no matter what it takes, to kill hundreds of innocent people if it meant for Lordaeron to survive. And Mal'Ganis actually told to Arthas that to gather his forces to the frozen place of Northrend, that they're going to share the score between them. And Arthas had no choice but to go there. And once he went through the heart of Northrend, he ran upon an old friend, Myrddin Bronzebeard. And Arthas once told him why was he doing in Northrend, and he told him that he was looking for a rune blade known as Frostmourne, like this one. I even have a key ring with Frostmourne, the one that Arthas wields. But when on one of the child, when Uther told to his Arthas' father that about everything that he has done, he sent a message direct to Noda and told them to retreat their forces from Northrend. And Arthas did not agree with it. that no one is supposed to go home until their work is done, and Arthas had no choice but to destroy all the human ships so his forces would not retreat. And so in that battle, Myrddin and Arthas went to find Frostmourne. But when the moment they found him, they found out that the blade was actually cursed. In the inscription said that whoever wields this blade shall wield the power eternal. So much power scars the spirit. But Arthas didn't care about the warning. He would even bear any curse in order to save his people. And so Arthas used an incantation so he can get the sword. But maybe with a cost. The moment the Frostmourne came out of the ice that was trapped in, Myrddin died. I don't even know even today if he actually killed him on purpose in order to get the sword, that he wasn't even, or that he wasn't actually aware that he needed a sacrifice in order to get the sword. But he did it. And Myrddin died. With the power of the sword, Arthas managed to destroy Mal'Ganis. Arthas managed even to return back to Lordaeron to tell the good news to his father. But the moment when, or a few days later, he became part of the undead, became a Death Knight. And he even, the moment he got to the throne, he killed his own father. And a short days later, he ran upon another dreadlord known as Tychontrius. He wanted to congratulate Arthas for killing his own father and delivering the scourge to the human land, to the scourge. And it would appear that it turned out that Mal'Ganis was never the supreme lord of the undead. He was just a pawn behind the true leader, none other than the Lich King. And Tychontrius told him that the power of Frostmourne stole his soul as well, because Arthas said that he didn't feel no more remorse, no shame, no pity. And Tychontrius told him that in order to send the undead to the human world, they needed the help of the necromancer that Arthas killed, the necromancer Kel'Thuzad. That he even went to see his ghost into the place where he was buried, take his remains and pour all the remains into a magic pool known as what was the High Elf Sunwell. Yes, that's it. The only thing that can bring Kel'Thuzad back to life, and it lied upon Quel'Thalas, where the High Elves dwelled. But in order for those remains to survive, they needed a special urn hidden from in paladins. And Arthas even killed some, and he even ran upon Uther. That he possessed the urn that lay inside of it lie the ashes of his father, and Arthas killed him. Arthas even moved through the Qualthas, and he ran upon high elves, gaining new enemies, and the one known as Sylvanas Windrunner, in which Arthas killed her and turned her into the undead. And when Arthas reached Silver Moon, destroyed all the high elves, he managed to bring Kel'Thuzad back to life, where Kel'Thuzad gained a new face. He became a Lich. Kel'Thuzad even told to Arthas how their encounter would end, that the Lich King, he knew that Arthas would kill Kel'Thuzad. And the Lich King actually told Kel'Thuzad this to him. And that the Lich King actually chose Arthas as his champion even before the Scourge even began. And that was the Burning Legion, a demonic army that was sent to devour countless worlds beyond their own, and send even an entire army of Dreadlords in order to do his bidding, so that he can succeed, to prepare a huge demonic invasion. Kel'Thuzad, with his powerful incantation, he brought a demon lord known as Archimad in order to prepare the invasion. Lordaeron was consumed by the undead. Many were killed. I remember. I know the game, all of it by heart. Until now. And in the Frozen Throne, the Lich King spoke to Arthas inside his own mind and told him to return to Northrend before his enemies would destroy him. Arthas even ran upon someone who actually sought to destroy the Lich King, the trainer known as Illidan Stormrage, the brother of Fury Stormrage, who was actually in prison for 10,000 years. And after the end of the battle of the Night Elves in Kalimdor, Illidan ran across one of the last great demon lords, the one known as Kil'jaeden. And they spoke of him in the preview of the Lich King. Is that the Lich King betrayed Kil'jaeden, and he asked Illidan to destroy him no matter what. And at first Illidan failed, and Illidan asked for Kil'jaeden to give him a second chance in order to destroy the Lich King, or else he would face his eternal wrath. But the moment when the gates of the Frozen Throne were opened, Arthas and Illidan had a fight, but Arthas prevailed, defeated him, And so the moment when Arthas climbed at the top of the peak inside the frozen throne, he finally saw the Lich King, freed him from his throne, from his prison. And at the moment when Arthas put his helmet inside his head, he became the new Lich King. He and the Lich King have become one. And that's all I know. I even borrowed once from a childhood from a little brother's friend of mine, a game known as Warcraft Wrath of the Lich King, but I couldn't even install it. I don't know. But now it's time to watch the Deathbattle with the Lich King versus Sauron, see who's gonna win. Now it's time to... Is this a battle represents actually those who have once were good and they betrayed everyone, became Dark Lords. And now it's time to watch this Deathbattle.
This episode of Deathbattle is sponsored by Bespoke Post and Shady Rays.
Sauron, the Lord of the Rings. The Lich King, Warcraft's Lord of the Scourge.
Yeah, the Scourge.
Many shapes, but few can match the presence of these kings of blight and shadow. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick. And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Wow, it's gonna be awesome. It looks awesome.
Within the timeless halls, at the dawn of creation, the supreme god Eru and his angelic Ainur created all of existence through a single harmonious song. But one of these angels just had to be a rebel. Melkor ruined that harmony, giving the world its many, many imperfections, like Wiz. Then after messing up God's hit single and going rogue, Melkor took up a new name just to be even more metal, Morgoth. Morgoth's power was impressive, daunting. Several Maiar, essentially lower-ranked angels, joined him in his frightening conquest of the world he had helped create. And the greatest of these followers was one obsessed with destroying all life in the pursuit of bringing about complete order. He used to be Myron, but under Morgoth's reign, he became the one and only Sauron. As the bigwig of Morgoth's forces, Sauron spent thousands of years bringing Middle-earth to its knees. He's almost more a force of nature than anything else, able to create infernos, cause country-spanning earthquakes, and even absorb souls. And because he's a weird...
Absorb souls? Arthas doesn't even have a soul.
...around his own soul however he wants, or just shed it like clothing and fight as a ghost. He can morph far beyond that. He has appeared as something akin to both man and elf, attractive and devious. A werewolf, once thought to be the greatest wolf of all, and even a vampire. Oh man, Tumblr's gonna go nuts with that. Many of his greatest accomplishments are not due to his powerful magics and weaponry, but his inhuman cunning. Sauron is nothing less than a master of manipulation. He's like if Loki and Satan did a fusion dance. He loves to trick someone with illusions, shadow magic, or just by toying with their sad, predictable, pathetic human emotions. Like when he convinced Saruman to join the evil side, who was basically a super wizard specifically meant to lead the charge against Sauron. In some ways, Sauron is actually wiser than the master he served. In the most epic war to eclipse all other wars, humans, dwarves, elves, and more united to destroy Morgoth, casting what remained of Melkor into the void. But Sauron saw it coming and bailed faster than me at a divorce hearing, just to show back up centuries later in the fiery pits of Mordor. There, the Dark Lord created a plan to conquer everything. He fooled the elven smiths into forging 19 rings of power and planted them among the leaders of elven, man, and dwarven kind, all controlled by another ring he made in secret.
The one ring to rule them all, one ring to find them, one ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them. Oh god, that's so epic. Think I'm into poetry now. Forged in the fires of Mount Doom using part of Sauron's own soul, the One Ring amplified his power and let him control the minds and actions of the other ring bearers.
The 9 kings of men were especially vulnerable and saw themselves reduced to twisted wraiths bent to Sauron's whims.
It wasn't any better for the less kingly humans. So much so that Sauron mind-controlled most of Numenor. We're talking about an island nation that could have had as many as 18 million people, and Sauron had them all at his creepy, pokey fingertips.
This led to retaliation from Eru, who had hardly directly intervened ever before, even against Morgoth. Eru sank Numenor, while Sauron was still on it. But the Dark Lord spirit persevered, indestructible even against the wrath of God.
Sauron used the ring to build himself a new body. It may have cost a lot of power, but he took a biblical event to the face and went right back on to being evil.
And yet, putting so much power into one object did have drawbacks.
Which hit back hard when Isildur subtracted a digit from his hand.
The Warrior King did more than just cut off a finger. He took the ring and its power for himself. This act forced Sauron to retreat as a disembodied spirit, threatened by his own power in the hands of another. And should the One Ring be destroyed completely, Sauron's spirit could be rendered impotent beyond repair. It isn't all bad, though. The ring can turn you invisible, create visions of impending doom, and has one hell of a defense mechanism.
Yeah, who'd want to destroy it when it makes you want it? Has a will of its own, with promises whispered even the best of us can't refuse. The greatest poultry dinner ever, Boomstick. Bourbon, pecan, parmesan, turducken. It's so precious.
What did you just do?
What? It sounded delicious. Well, ring or no ring, Sauron's a beast. He's swatted away armies of soldiers, interrupted Mount Doom through sheer willpower. He has total control over his own being, and can modify his soul at will. So he can definitely resist someone like spooky ghost Celebrimbor trying to dominate a spirit.
And being among the strongest Maiar, the peak of Sauron's power is beyond that of Ose, a lesser Maya, which is specifically important because Ose single-handedly raised the island of Numenor.
Yeah, remember that island that got Noed? That place. No wonder everyone wants his ring. Who could turn down that much power?
Not Isildur. The hearts of men are easily corrupted, and he kept the ring rather than destroy it. But in the end, the ring destroyed him and waited for its master's return.
Sauron was rebuilding Mordor into a world-conquering force. And after a little bit of good old-fashioned torture, he found out the ring was in the Shire. The chillest, coziest, dopest place imaginable. Ah, man, when I retire, I'm gonna go live in a hobbit hole and just get lit 24/7.
And so began the War of the Ring. Sauron's forces covered the land, seeking both the ring and the downfall of man, always shadowed by the symbol of his ever-present influence, the Eye of Sauron.
It was a slaughterfest. Middle-earth stood no chance. Everybody basically accepted death by orcs as inevitable. It was hopeless. The kingdoms of men would finally fall for good.
Save for the Dark Lord's truest weakness. Sauron's cunning and stratagems were impressive, sure, but ultimately, he never truly understood the people of Middle-earth. In his mind, absolute power was factually irresistible. He never imagined a mere mortal could ever, or would ever, seek to actually destroy the One Ring.
Against all odds and a whole lot of walking, Sauron was defeated. Not by the sparkly new king or the armies of Middle-earth, but by the most unlikely creature imaginable, Elijah Wood.
Yet, even as a formless shadow, Sauron's legacy remains one of domination, treachery, and most of all, fear. Fitting for the being that represents, and I quote, as near an approach to the wholly evil will as is possible.
Huh. By the ring, and now,
This episode of Deathbattle is sponsored by Bespoke Post.
Gear up for fall with
yeah,
Bespoke
his
Post
power is based by his ring
box of awesome collections.
Bespoke Post partners with small
being
businesses
trapped
and
in,
emerging brands to bring you the most unique goods every month.
Like the hot sauces in the Scorch box combined from brands all across the country. Perfect for some deliciously devilish home cooking.
No matter what you have going on this season, Box of
A
Awesome
supreme lord of darkness is Sauron.
Essentials to travel must-haves and autumn cocktail
And also with the
Box of
elves
Awesome has
and
everything
orcs,
for
it,
fall.
I'm personally digging all the sick knives in boxes like Terra, Forge, and River.
Each box is valued at about
Sauron could be was interested in darkness,
fraction of that.
It's totally free to sign up too.
overshadowing the realm
Cancel anytime, no sweat.
in destruction and pain.
First monthly box when you sign up at boxofawesome.com and enter the code Deathbattle at checkout.
That's boxofawesome.com code Deathbattle for 20% off your first box.
Boxofawesome.com code Deathbattle.
And now it's time for Arthas.
On the distant planet of Draenor, destruction was imminent. The orc shaman Ner'zhul prepared a spell with his followers to tear the planet asunder, all to escape the fury of the demon lord Kil'jaeden.
Exactly.
But when Ner'zhul waltzed through the portal, Kil'jaeden was right there waiting for him.
Ner'zhul was forced to serve Kil'jaeden's will to ravage another world, Azeroth. Thus, he was transformed into the first Lich King.
This Lord of the Dead was sent to the continent of Northrend, but Kil'jaeden had one more twist for poor Zul. His body was gone, leaving just his spirit, which was bound to a set of armor sealed within a prison of magical ice.
Exactly.
Can't catch a break. Armor looks sick though. He's gonna
In
put
an armor.
that on, huh?
From his frozen prison, the Lich King would begin his conquest, conjuring an unstoppable plague of undeath. Soon,
The undead scourge.
lives of the kingdom of Lordaeron.
Okay, so that was a lot, but here's where our main
Arthas.
finally shows up. Lordaeron's crown prince and holy knight, Arthas Menethil. Yeah, his name does kind of sound like something your doctor would give you for fungus, but hey, no. Arthas was a badass. At 19 years old, he was considered one of the best swordsmen in the world. And
Arthas, 29 years old.
every weapon he could.
Even with such a skilled
Kill his own father.
Lordaeron was already severely pressured by a war with an orcish horde, so a zombie plague was the last thing Arthas needed. Compounding this even further, Ner'zhul managed to break free of Kil'jaeden's power and turned his attention toward creating a champion to lead his ever-growing scourge. Naturally, he chose Arthas.
Who was a stressed out mess, to the point where he tried to stop the plague by killing everyone in his own city.
Exact. That's what I said.
Yeah, he was totally losing it. So hearing a creepy voice in his head really did.
That's Jaina.
Long story short, in his efforts to protect his realm, Arthas discovered a rune blade and took it for himself. This was the fearsome Frostmourne.
Surprise!
It's Frostmourne.
The source of the Lich King's power. He was stealing souls and storing them within the blade. With this new ice-cold cleaver in hand, Arthas lost his soul and got a Death Knight makeover.
And so the former hero of light would lead the very scourge he previously fought.
In the darkness.
In time, Arthas would don the armor for himself, giving the Lich King a new, ultimate power. Walking!
Remember, everything the Lich King had done up until this point had been from his prison within a literal block of ice.
And this new Sauronite armor, Saronite armor, is the best. Like, what was it doing stuck in ice all this time when it's made of old god blood and self-repairs? Screw you, blacksmith! You're never taking my hard-earned gold! I'll never have to get naked and die again!
By donning this dark helm, Ner'zhul and Arthas fused to become one, a being far more powerful than either had been before.
He could effortlessly cover cities in ice storms, murder hundreds with the power of shadow, and learn all of your secrets with the Eye of Acheris.
Azeroth's fate was sealed. Everyone was doomed.
See this guy? He's Illidan, a 15,000-year-old demon hunter with a bit of a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, Illidan.
Death Knight, Arthas could take him down, even after fighting through a massive army to get to him. Against this new Lich King, Illidan never stood a chance.
This is important because Illidan had absorbed the power of Gul'dan, an orc warlock who, alongside his followers, raised the Broken Isles out of the sea, a massively powerful feat of magic.
The fact that
That's the place where them for the Eye of Sargeras he sought to look. Not to destroy the Lich King.
Full control of the undying Lich King powers. Oh wait, we don't have to.
Ner'zhul may have pulled Arthas' strings up until this point, but he had made a drastic miscalculation. Within the mind of the Lich King, Arthas battled Ner'zhul for control, and won. The power of Frostmourne, of the Scourge, of Undeath itself, was now under the command of Arthas.
And by this point, he was just done. like with everything. We've all had one of those days, right? Where you see all of humanity is so pathetic they can only be saved by just killing them all, so you rip out your own heart. Yeah, relatable.
Determined to end all life, Arthas led his scourge across Azeroth, spreading the plague to every corner of the world. He slaughtered every contender in his path, including legendary champions like this hero of the Horde, Dranosh Sarfang.
Who the Lich King bitch slapped to death in one hit, then zombified to serve him instead. Man,
That's
that didn't go well.
horrible.
The Lich King seemed unstoppable.
Only one thing could take him down. A 25-man raid team of the best nerds World of Warcraft servers had to offer. And that one guy who was just there because he was friends with somebody.
Defeated Uther and Sylvanas.
Heroes triumphant, the Paladin Tyrion shattered Frostmourne with an equally legendary blade, ending the Lich King's vile reign.
But the Scourge doesn't work on Phantom Menace battle droid rules, so there must always be a Lich King to keep the relentless undead in check.
Yet no Lich King before or since ever matched the terror and malice Arthas brought to Azeroth.
Without a doubt, one of the most terrifying kings to ever conquer the world of Warcraft.
Exactly. And now it's time to see who will win.
Are you looking for an industry best
I'm going for the Lich King.
and performance without the big brand price tag? Shady Rays has got all of that to make your perfect summer complete.
It's not just quality. Every pair of Shady Rays is backed by lost and broken replacements.
If you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they'll send you a brand new pair. Wear them without fear because Shady Rays has your back long after you purchase.
And with every order, they provide 10 meals to fight hunger in America. That's over 20 million meals to date. You get to look good with your shades and feel good by making an impact.
If you don't love them, exchange for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days.
There's no risk when you shop with Shady Rays.
Exclusively for our viewers, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season.
Go to ShadyRays.com and use code DEATHBATTLE for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses.
Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by
Those games that I saw of Warcraft didn't actually look like the ones I played. I think they're different ones.
All right, the combatants are set. We've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for an undeath battle!
Oh yeah! Undead battle! Now! It's Arthas on in his throne. It's like Thanos versus Darkseid and...
I shall claim what is mine.
yeah.
In this cold north, you will find only death.
I thought of death. Fight! What? Okay, that didn't work. Okay, now you summon the wolf.
I'll tear out your heart. You will find nothing.
I don't think Arthas has a heart. Not anymore.
Your efforts are for naught. I see
Oh, blood is dripping.
you serve me now. I serve no one. Witness the prophecy of your doom.
Frostmourne! No!
There is no life in the void. Only
No! No!
Well, if he wasn't all powerful before, look out for supercharged Sauron now.
I...
The Lich King's impressive power, Sauron's might was absolute.
But not before he got the duel of his life in a crazy close bout. First up, both Dark Lords could counter pretty much any mind or soul-screwing powers, making a lot of their usual tricks way less noteworthy in this match.
To be fair, the Lich King severely debilitated Sauron via his plague of undeath. Most physical bodies would not survive such a disease.
So, Sauron just got rid of his body. Who needs it? Especially when you can rebuild one or just start fighting as a ghost. Both things Sauron could do.
After all, the plague is intended for organic mortal enemies and has never infected a spirit.
Another smaller point for Sauron was his weakness. The Lich King was a clever bastard, but even with the Eye of Icarus, it would have been tough for him to decode and destroy the One Ring. Meanwhile, given enough power, Sauron would naturally end up destroying Frostmourne. He's kinda got a thing for breaking swords.
So let's compare their power. While their highest limits are certainly nebulous, interestingly enough, some of the most impressive feats from both worlds involve lifting islands. As Sauron is a more powerful Maya than Osei, and the Lich King could reliably defeat someone with Gul'dan's magic, it is possible to gauge the difference in power by measuring the islands that were raised.
Keep in mind, Gul'dan had a bunch of help, so we're only giving him his share. Turns out, Osei was doing twice the work.
By examining official maps to determine the volume of the islands, we found a difference between lifting 2 quadrillion tons of rock versus 4 quadrillion tons, among further energy required to actually lift these through the ocean, of course. Both impressive, sure, but Sauron had the edge.
And for the final nail in the coffin, the Lich King might have been super scary, but he really wasn't around for all that long. At least not when compared to the experience Sauron has warring with the world for thousands of years.
The Lich King certainly posed a threat to Sauron, but the ruler of Mordor's awesome might, enduring spirit, and millennia of treachery proved him the superior Dark Lord.
Wow!
Is that it?
What? Are you sour on the pun? I was pretty Tolkien about it.
The winner is Sauron.
Oh, damn it.
Hey, if you want more Deathbattle ASAP, why not grab a membership? You'll get exclusive emotes, badges, live chat, live streams, and a bunch of behind-the-scenes stuff. Just click that join button. Thanks for watching.
Oh, I can't believe it. The Lich King lost in front of Sauron. Sauron had conquered the earth in darkness for thousands of years more than Arthas. He actually destroyed Frostmourne. The energy that Sauron used in lifting lands was far more powerful, I think, even than Arthas has ever done. That gave him the edge. Okay, let's see. He said that Sauron was actually more used in ghost forms in order to rip apart his enemies, and that's what something he actually said that they done. He has done against the Lich King. Yeah, and that Sauron had a thing for even destroying swords more, just like he did with Frostmourne. Such a pity. The one that I knew my childhood was defeated. Can't believe it. The Lich King was bested by Sauron. And even at the beginning of the battle, Arthas was at his throne and Sauron was coming. It was just like Thanos versus Darkseid and Dracula versus Ganondorf. And I thought Arthas is gonna win. But no. Sauron overthrown him. And I actually thought that Sauron could never actually take his soul because Arthas doesn't have a soul anymore. But I think Sauron destroyed him more physically than spiritually. Sauron claimed himself as the more supreme Dark Lord than Arthas. So tell me what you guys think in the description below. Add comments. And we will meet again in case I want to watch another dev battle. So, see you guys later.